Macro in Excel. Before even we start to understand what is macro, let me start with this real-life scenario. This is example of small store, Victor Store, who sells common needs items in retail. At the end of every purchase, he need to do total of individual item price. We'll be using some function to calculate total bill amount. To increase the sell, he has given offer of 5% discount for all bills above $100. Now, as this bill is above $100, he will have to give 5% discount. Here, we'll be using if function. So now, net bill will be total amount, minus, discount. Also to make bill more clear, readable and to show the discount, he may need to format the cells. Let us make discount red. Let us also make final bill amount, net bill bold. It is obvious that hundreds of customer buy from this shop and for each customer, he has to repeat same task of adding, discounting, net billing and formatting. This is not only boring, but also time-consuming. And here, macro comes in the picture. Once we have recorded macro for these steps, we can perform all these steps automatically by just one click of mouse key. So, let us create macro. Button to create macro, that is button to record macro, is in Developer tab in the ribbon. Let us go to the Developer tab. To your surprise, you can see that Developer tab itself is missing in the ribbon. This is because, by default, Developer tab is hidden in all Excel, so, let us enable Developer tab. Click the File tab. On the drop-down list, click Options to open the Excel Options dialog box. In the left-hand panel, click on Customize Ribbon to open the Customize Ribbon window. In the right-hand window, click on the checkbox next to Developer to add this tab to the ribbon. Click OK to close and return to the worksheet. You can see that Developer tab has appeared in the ribbon. Let us record macro on bill number 2. Before even we press macro recording button, we need to take care of few things. Keep all steps that you want to record on paper. That is, don't start doing trial and error while macro is on. Because, whatever you do, all that will get recorded in macro. In short, you should be well planned for what all steps you would be performing in macro. Keep that cell selected, from where your first action of recording would be beginning. Make sure that use relative reference is on. Believe me, even if you are careless for any of these precautions, you would not be able to make your macro successful. Macro recording will involve 4 steps. Step 1. Starting of the macro recording. In Step 2, you will need to perform all that steps that you need to record. Then stop macro recording and last, check your macro for its working. Let us see what is relative reference that we need to take care of. You can locate it in the Developer tab, just below Record button. By default, it is off. We need to just press once to switch it on. Depending on your Excel version, its on and off indication is slightly different. In Office 2016 or Office 365, background of the button changes to dark gray. While in Office 2010, only border of that button changes. Note that this button is toggle switch. By one click, it changes its state. If this button is off, and if you click, it switches to on state. And if it is already on and if you click it, it will turn off. So be careful. Let me remind that in the most of the cases, we will need on state. Let us start macro recording by going to Developer tab and in that, clicking Record Macro button. When we pressed Record Macro button, small dialog box appears, asking for few settings. As shown here, very first setting is to give macro name. Keep whatever default name has come. As a beginner, you should focus only on main points. So we would be keeping that as it is. Shortcut setting. This is the only important setting at start level. Here we have to provide any alphabet. Once macro created successfully, we can use that, with combination with Control key to run the macro. We are using K. So this macro, once created successfully, can be run by just pressing Control plus K. Remember that your caps lock must be off, or I can say that alphabet that you use must be of lowercase. If you use capital letter, then your shortcut key would be combination of Control, Shift and the supplied letter. Also, avoid letters like C, V, as we use them for copy-paste etc. Leave all other setting and press OK button. Macro recording has started. Now, we need to perform all steps, like totaling, discount calculation, net bill and formatting bill. All these need to be recorded. Let us perform all steps one by one. Sum the individual amount using sum function. Adding formula for calculating discount, if total is above $100. Adding formula to calculate net bill. Formatting discount with red color. Formatting net bill. Once everything is over, bring back our cell selection to starting cell. Stop recording by going to Developer tab and clicking Stop Recording button. Now let us test our newly recorded macro on bill number 3, selecting the cell where our expected calculation begins. And to run macro, just press Ctrl plus K. Absolutely brilliant. We got all the things done in fraction of second. Let us test macro on one more bill, bill number 4, pressing Ctrl plus K. Wow! As in this bill, total is less than 100, we can see no discount is given. That's the power of macro. Once you have recorded and tested your macro, you would certainly like to save the file. But, the moment you try to save file, some warning message pops up. Majority of us just ignores it without reading and saves the file. And if you also do that way, that would be your biggest mistake, as now you have lost your macro. File was saved, but macro was not. And the message was for the same. Moral of story is, to save file with macro in it, you must change file type from default to macro enabled workbook, as shown here. Then only save the file. Macro files are saved as macro enable file, with extension XLSM. Even to have macro, we have to perform all steps manually at least once. Macro is to save time for repetitive work. Do all steps once and perform them automatically thereafterward. In real life, macro is developed by a person who is expert in Excel. And once it is developed and tested, its shortcut key is informed to all junior office staff who would be working with that Excel files. So all those who work with that files need not know all calculations and Excel functions. Also they need not spend time writing all that functions and formulas, as that is recorded in macro. That's all for now. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And for more of these videos, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you can get updates when new videos come out.